I'm lurking. It's hard to type because I have no energy without beef. You know what I was saying earlier on about pity me vlogs? Because that's where you get all your energy from. It's the only food that gives anybody any energy is beef. I know nothing. Don't, Raven, stop it. That means I can crow the chat. Because crow's in. There's Ryan's channel. Thank you, Blanky. Hello's. Oh, that's how tight his fingers. I can't possibly say hello to everybody individually because he's had no beef. Justin, I need you to scroll up and look at my Blanky. Careful, Crow. Oh no, you've got a wrench. You're fine. You're safe. Send me a link. Yes, boss. Hello.
Hello.
What?
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Crow.
How are y'all doing?
You've been sucking up helium.
I haven't had meat in 3 weeks.
Is that what you sound like when you don't eat meat?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm very weak. I'm hearing an echo. Hold on. Check. We're good.
I can't hear an echo.
I'm eating some pistachio nuts.
Ooh, I like pistachios. Sounds like Michael Jackson's picture. So what you're saying, Cag, is that you slept more investigating than since you've been home. Cag's known to fall asleep when she's investigating. Saying earlier that Adelaide are so good that they can ghost hunt in their sleep.
I would definitely fall asleep too.
I think I would actually if I need to keep moving.
Yeah, man. So what happens? You sit there for hours and hours, nothing happens. But if I was open-minded, I'd have all kinds of activity happening.
You would.
Apparently.
You'd be coming out the woodwork.
That's the new buzz around town,
Oh, it's such a bloody weak argument, I think.
Well, it's convenient. In the paranormal, you just change the rules as you go,
Yeah. I mean, nothing happened because you don't believe.
It sounds ridiculous. There's not much I don't agree with on Kenny on. Maybe some alien stuff, but at the same time, there is no proof. But I think I've got
actually the stuff that he's already looked into. I kind of get it. I don't always agree with him on the psychology side, but Bestie is a psychologist, so sometimes I'll ask her about things. Because I'm not somebody who believes everything is. I think that thing where they say where ghost hunters will say, oh, well, you're not getting ghosts because you don't believe in it. To me, you hallucinated it is a bit too much of a convenient explanation for me as well.
Yeah.
And also this thing about you misremember things, and I do understand that because I watch a lot of crime channels, so I know. For example, eyewitnesses aren't always given very much credence because they can forget how things go. But I know a lot of my experiences, I can remember clearly exactly what happened, and I've got a shit memory.
Like I still believe. Like I know Kenny does. I'm pretty sure Kenny doesn't believe. I still believe there's something out there. I still think there's a few cases where I just, especially with aliens or with a paranormal, there's a few cases I still believe that something went on. But of course, we can't prove it, but I still believe there's something out there. I just think it's very, very rare.
Yeah, that's kind of where I sit, really. I think what frustrates me, the main thing that frustrates me about Kenny is an unwillingness to think beyond what we already know, the possibilities. he's sometimes, for me, a bit close-minded on the possibilities. But I get where he's coming from, in that he's more on the science base and he wants proof.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a bit like the alien argument and the Drake equation, etc. You know, he'll happily admit that there's a good chance that there's life out there on other planets, but he's not willing to accept that there could be anything here, that they couldn't have travelled here. And so that's the main thing that frustrates me, is not wanting to touch subjects that are out there, you know, and that you couldn't prove anyway. It's like stuff that happened in ancient times. I mean, what's carbon dating? 60,000 years. So it's very limited on how far we can go back anyway.
I think carbon dating goes way back further than that, actually, but I could be wrong.
Is it more? I thought it was. I could be wrong. But I know it doesn't go back, say, millions. You know, where.
See, I thought it did, but maybe I could be totally.
I thought it disintegrated after that amount of time. You know, there's. Check for me. You need clicking. Just remembered how to type.
Up to, oh, you're right, 60,000 years old. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
So, I mean, that's nothing on the human. Even on the human calendar, that's nothing. You know. I like to believe in faith, hope, and have an imagination. Yeah. I want to be allowed to believe in the magic of things that are unexplained. That kind of sums it up for me perfectly.
Yeah.
To be honest, Pinky.
I see. Yeah.
I want to be allowed to believe in the. I want to be allowed to believe in the possibility. Alison was investigating when the equipment was brought in, and the reasoning behind it. They stopped things like writing notes for a reason. I know my paranormal experience is a real period. Just because you don't believe does not make it so. Yeah, I mean that's the Believe in Me project is kind of geared towards that, and there's a lot of experiences I've had, and they could be explained. I am not even arguing that things couldn't be explained. I just don't think we're ready to explain them, but they did happen. That's my point. I just know that they happened. What the explanations are, I don't know.
What happened? Seg's live just disappeared.
Did it?
Oh, never mind. That wasn't okay. What the hell? I was like, what the hell happened? Sorry. I thought like maybe he showed his face or something by accident.
Yeah, just take one of mine down because of that. I wish I could remember my experiences. I've been told I talked to a ghost in our apartment when I was wee Rugrat, but don't remember it.
Yeah, a lot of that isn't there where kids are, say, you're more open at a young age to see or you know, I guess.
Yeah.
I already say it. Sorry, I haven't had a hamburger in 3 weeks, guys.
He nearly doxed himself.
Or ham, or pork, or anything good for that matter.
Oh my God, can you not even have pork? Or it means you can't have bacon.
Anything good. That's why we're in a fucking simulation. Isn't that funny? Anything good you can't have. But you can have as much of the bad stuff as you want. That proves we're in a simulation. Sorry.
That's sorted. Crows just prove we're in a simulation because you can't have anything good.
Think about that. Like everything good in this world, like good, is bad for you, and everything that's crap is good for you. It's rigged.
Yeah, cheating.
Like that's
what. He showed his name on the live tweet.
Oh, sorry.
Seg showed his name on the live.
Yeah.
Was he drunk? Yeah. Sometimes the simulation theories are scary, to the point of being scary.
My thing is two things in the simulation theory is that just like computer code everything is like a pixel or a number at the end of the day. Same way with the universe, everything's an atom. Everything. It can be diarrhea. It can be salad. It's both made of the same fucking thing. That reminds me of a computer. And also the mathematic laws of the universe. We can call it different things, but the mathematical laws of the universe are the laws of the universe. Who set them?
Yes, it's like the arguments that physicists have, isn't it? You know, physics and maths is literally universal. So that's why I wish I had the sort of brain, and I don't. That's why I wish I had the sort of brain that understood things like quantum theory better. Because what's it called? It's like intelligent design. Just it's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird. As soon as you get down to a small scale, everything changes. I've always wondered what precise size does it go from the E equals MC squared stuff to quantum physics, where all that shit goes out the window. It's amazing. Yes, you can. If you believe in it, Raven, you can. You gotta believe, though.
That's where I think. That's why I'd like to understand it better. But that's where I think a lot of our explanations will come from eventually. Will be quantum physics. Will be quantum theory. I just think I don't think it'll happen in any of our lifetimes. We're talking about a long way off before a lot of this stuff is actually proven or explained in some way. It's like I've said this on a live before, but it's a bit like, man inventing the hot air balloon and then next day thinking, we can go to the moon. Science doesn't work like that. It has to work in stages.
Yeah.
And I think we're in the infancy of science for explaining any of the strange stuff that happens. Intelligent design isn't science, it's intuitive reasoning.
Ooh.
Well, it's a bit like the AI argument, isn't it? When is the point when it can actually be perceived to be thinking for itself?
It's just I've tried to learn about it. I know some very basic things about it, but it's very mysterious. So I don't some of the things like the slit theory is still crazy. Was it Schrodinger's cat? How you say it?
Schrodinger's cat, yeah.
Yeah. That one blows your fucking mind because it basically is kind of proving that, the atom is just an atom until you look at it. Like we're surrounded by vibrating atoms, and basically the theory is that they're not something until you look at it. And I don't know that one's hard to get my mind wrapped around, but some of these tests and theories they have makes you do think about that. Like, I don't know.
But that's like the I think I said this before, but that's like the mirror theory, isn't it? Where that nothing reflects in a mirror unless somebody's looking in it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
for example, for this to bring it home more though, the reason why there is some validity to that because protons, which are part of atoms, right?
Yeah.
If you take protons and shoot them through slits on the back of a wall, right? At 2 slits, the protons go through it. It should be 2 slits on the back of the wall. But for some reason, and I think we still don't know why, is when you go to record that or go look at that, it turns into a waveform. And you'll see multiple lines on the back on that backboard in a waveform, a pattern. How can it be a waveform if it's a particle? But it change. It changes from particle to wave just by recording it and looking at it. So if that's the case, if something can change just by us looking at it, that makes you wonder: is that on a bigger scale as well? Yeah. Unless they have, since I've looked into this last, I figured that part out. I don't think they still have, but
it's like the and again, because I haven't looked deeply into it, but it's a bit like I think it was at the Hadron Collider where the whole thing of mirror and and alternative dimensions, because they were looking at whatever the smallest particle they could see was, and suddenly there was like two of them. It was almost like they were. It's just. I just think that we don't have the science or the knowledge to look at this properly yet, and that's where. But I do think that's where a lot of it will come from. I think it will come from quantum physics. You have to look at the physics and the math for those sorts of discrepancies that you're just talking about, where something changes from a particle to a wave. It's all very well knowing it to us, but you have to know why as well. It doesn't mean that we know why it happens.
So if you can affect something by looking at it, we can prove that. And that means, are we affecting things in the real world by just simply looking at them?
Yeah.
Oh, Google that real quick.
Who reported take to YouTube?
Oh, that was I think he's showing it right now. That was the Demon Files.
Really?
Yeah, supposedly for I think he's saying it already, so I can go ahead and say it for saying his name, his first name on the video, which is already out there. So it's really lame.
Oh no. No, they've done that. Scientists used to think an atom was solid. They had to invent the electron microscope to find out that the history was wrong. The theory was wrong. Yeah. And that's often a problem, because science, like anything, it's like historians, don't always want things to change. You really have to have that solid, definitive evidence, which is fine. I understand that. For minds to be changed on how things work.
So check this out, Sarah. No, the mystery of the double slit experiment has not been solved. Though its behavior is consistently described by quantum mechanics, the experiment is considered a profound demonstration of quantum weirdness and highlights the difference between how quantum systems behave and how humans perceive reality. So the question is, does the proton or the whatever they're using, does it know it's being watched and it changes, or is it the eye of the beholder, if you will, the viewer? Are we changing it by looking at it? Which one is it? That's the question.
And would it change if we weren't looking at it?
It does.
It does.
Yep, it does. And when we go to look at it, it changes.
Yeah.
It's a mind fuck. Man, I miss smoking weed, because when I used to smoke weed, I used to watch hours of quantum physics stuff. It's mind blowing. It really is.
Yeah. I also think that it shows just how little we know. There's so much more to find out. I have a question for Crow. If we don't know what makes up a spirit or the world they live in, how do you know that equipment doesn't work?
Well, we don't know. We don't know if there's spirits. That's the problem. We don't even know if there's spirits. Once we know if there's a spirit, we know what it's some kind of proof of it. Then we could go further. But the equipment, even if it did work, you have to prove it, and then they have not done that. So it's a good question though. But me personally, I don't think the equipment works, and if it does, we'd have no way of knowing unless we were under a controlled experiment and had a ghost.
Yeah.
But at this point, we have not even proved that ghosts exist. It could be psychological. It could be something else completely that we haven't discovered yet. We don't even know about. But we don't even know if it's ghosts. That's the thing.
And that's one of my biggest issues. It's actually the word ghost, because it presupposes somebody who's died. We don't know what's being picked up on.
Right. I think a lot of it's folklore and culture, but we don't know if that's, if you experience something, is it a dead person?
And it might be, but the presumption going in before anything's even found or potentially found, that is what triggers me. You all get so upset about equipment, but shouldn't the focus be on the investigation? The only thing that ticks me off is if they use it to run the investigation. I think most people would agree with that. It's when you let the equipment drive the narrative.
Yeah, I would say the investigation is methods and beliefs. If the investigation itself is flawed by the methods and beliefs you have, it's pointless to me. I mean, if you go in there with a bunch of equipment that you don't even know how to use and don't even care about using, and it's beeping and going off, and you're getting false positives, that's not an investigation. That's why I get so mad about it, because they don't even know how to use the equipment they do have. Because I think it's just a belief system at this point.
Mm. Science is limited discipline, but it's progressive.
That's very true. That's very true.
I think that's the frustration a lot of us have, and whether it's Kenny or somebody else. It's like, that's what I was saying. I think the biggest thing that frustrates me is not allowing for the possibilities. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that aliens are real or anything's real. I just want people to be open to the possibility of it, and if it's proven to be not the case, then that's fine. I've got no problem with it. But you've got to be open to different ideas, because otherwise you're not going to find anything, are you?
Yeah, I believe in aliens. I believe in aliens hardcore. I believe they visit our planet, not because I have proof, but I have some pretty good evidence to show that there has been. Can I prove it's aliens? No, I cannot. It sucks, but I've just seen enough to make my own decision, and I believe that they have been here.
Mm. See, I see my when Chronos is my argument on that is because Kenny. I know I talked to Kenny about this on one of the lives, and he will say, "Oh well, they can't get here. The distances are too great." But this Earth is millions of years old. Doesn't mean that they didn't get here a long time ago. They might not still be here. I don't know. But I think the argument that it's too far is a weak one.
That's thinking like, I don't know if you actually say that, because I would say that's thinking like a human. I would say, because looking 125 years ago, when we were still in horse and buggy, it would take how long to even go to town or back, or how long it take to go across America in a horse and buggy.
Yeah.
Now look, we're going to we're dropping off vehicle size objects on Mars.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how now, if we've had we've had electricity for 125 years, whatever it's been. If we had electricity for 1,000 years, how far would we be by now? If we had it for 5,000 years, how far would it be? That's how I look at it. And Earth is still pretty young compared to the actual in the Milky Way. So if there's other planets out there that are way older than ours, which there is in our own neighborhood, they could have had this technology for a lot longer than we've had it. And I just don't see it very, to me, in my world, and this could be a belief system as well. I don't find it hard to believe that people in our galactical neighborhood have figured out how to get here. If that was a awesome UFO ship or just like a satellite, how we send to Mars and the moon, they have, I believe they know we're here. Just like we know, we can already tell 125 years after you discovering electricity, we can tell which planets have breathable air already. You know what I mean? So, and we're still babies. So I definitely believe there are very very advanced beings in our solar system, or the solar system, in our galaxy. Sorry, I definitely believe that 100,000%.
Because the Industrial Revolution was started about 200 years ago. What was it? The Wright brothers, was it 1912 or something?
1904. I think it was
1904. They flew, and then suddenly less than 60 years later, 65 years later, we've gone to the moon.
Yeah.
That's in the time on this planet, that's like a second. It's like almost instant, going from flying in a biplane to going into space earlier than that, but certainly going to the moon.
We broke the sound barrier in 1947, and that's less than 50 years after the first flight at Kitty Hawk.
Yeah.
That's insane. And back then, they thought the sound barrier was just crazy. We didn't know if we were going to rip apart or die or explode. Or we didn't know what would happen if you actually go past the sound of the speed of sound. Pretty amazing, man. If you guys ever have a chance to watch a film called The Wright Brothers, I'm sorry, The Right Stuff. It's called The Right Stuff.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid. It's 1983. It's a film about the whole Apollo program, starting with the pilots themselves. It is an amazing movie to watch. It's very educational as well.
I haven't seen that movie for years.
Dude, it's a crazy. Isn't it a good movie? The Right Stuff.
Yeah, it is a good movie. Yeah, it's a very good movie. I think the spirit world will always remain a mystery. I think it's meant to. We just catch glimpses once in a while. And if you've heard my vlogs, you'll know that's how I sort of think. I don't think we should always know everything anyway, because we need that mystery to keep searching.
The world is a very mysterious place. I cannot sit here and go, "Oh no, there's nothing out there." My brain won't let me. So, Jimmy.
Is Jimmy in? Hey, Jimmy. Yeah, and when you think about that time frame that we've been on the planet, and even before we were on the planet, even humans were on the planet. I mean, that's a huge amount of time. Do you know, Mr. Gray said something in a live. This is about a month ago, but I really liked what he said. And he was talking about all the worlds out there that he was talking about the Drake equation and all the worlds that could have life out there. But he was also talking about, I wonder how many worlds are out there where there's no life anymore and sort of fallen civilizations. I found that fascinating, sort of civilized. And he's right. We forget how far, time going backwards is as infinite as time going forwards. More or less. I know the Big Bang, etc. And yeah, it's like thinking about we can't just think about time in Earth terms. You've got to think of it universal. If that made sense.
Yeah.
I think the issue is the word evidence. I honestly never say they found evidence of anything. How do we know if we don't know what the heck they're looking for? What makes it up? I think that's the problem, and I think this is again goes back to me don't liking the presumption that we're going to go and find ghosts or whatever it is. We're going to go and find Bigfoot. You don't know what you're looking for. Find the anomalies first, and then try to unravel what it is that you're dealing with.
Hey, it might be something I thought before. It might be impossible to capture paranormal on a device or a camera.
Yeah,
it might be that you can't film the paranormal because it's other in the dimension or whatever you want to call it. All those keywords people use like time slip and dimensions and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, it might not even be possible to capture something on audio or I used to be very gullible when it comes to EVPs and stuff like that. Now the more I've learned, I realized, man, like, wow, EVPs are dangerous, man. Because it's a lot of it's just noise. It sounds. Now that we know sound just like human voices, makes me rethink. Unless I have an EVP that is verified by video, you cannot say, "Oh, I caught a word." Well, we have no idea who was moving around the room, what was going on. So even EVPs now are completely in question. I used to put so much stock into EVPs. Now I'm like, okay, that's been ruined for me.
The thing that gets me about EVP, because most of I have seen one or two visuals, but most of my experiences have been audio. And right. I didn't have a microphone or a camera, or I heard them with my own ears. I'm not saying they were paranormal. I'm just saying couldn't explain them.
Yeah.
But so for me is like, I know that you've still got the problem of having a microphone on a camera, and that can be affected, but in my experience, you don't need the gadget necessarily. If it's going to be heard, it's going to be heard. It's going to be picked up by the ears, not by. That's my theory, anyway. It's going to be picked up by the ears, not by some contraption that's flicking through radio stations.
I mean, there's many investigations have been on around the world by different teams and different methods and cameras and security cameras. Why don't we have anything by now? It's always explainable, or it's always enough to where it's like we just don't know. But we still haven't had anything significant to where I go, oh yeah, this right here. And back in the day, I did before I understood what was going on. Oh yeah, this right here is like the holy grail of, video clips and stuff. Now I don't look at any of that. Everything can be explained away.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Everything can be explained away. So even if you are genuinely looking at something paranormal, you can still explain it away if it's video or photographic. And when you think about how many photographs are taken a day, how many security
Yeah.
cameras, etc., billions and billions of images every day, and we haven't caught anything, that we can...
I guess people would argue with that. They would say, "Oh, we've caught all kinds of stuff." Yeah, but it's always anomalies. It's always, if you look right here and you turn the color down and you turn your head sideways and grab your balls, you'll see that this little thing over here. It's like if we have some, some of it's like, okay, come on, man. I've seen stuff in my own pictures. I've heard weird sounds and stuff, but if you can't explain it, like if I can't say that's what that was.
No.
Usually, like Kenny says, you don't have enough information to know what was going on in that exact picture, that exact video, to say what it was. And just because we can't explain it doesn't make it paranormal.
No.
God, I sound like Kenny, don't I? Hey, Patricia.
Yeah, it's like your diet causing that. Does that make you talk like Kenny? Hey,
like the Snickers commercial. Believe me, that's the thing too. I think people mistake about debunkers is and I'm not, dude. I am not a great debunker, dude. I'm not. I am not. But I'm dying to find real evidence, man. Believe me, I'd love to find. I think most of us would. All the other ones would too, like the Seg and Beardo. They'd love to experience something or see something real or whatever. That's why I'm constantly trying to find myself.
I think that's what frustrates some people, and again, it's why the Believe in Me project started. When you get people who've had experiences that they can't explain, and you're talking about people who aren't sort of believing in all sorts, just for the sake of it. They're sort of sitting there saying, "Look, this is what happened to me," and they're looking for explanations. I just think that explanation would help, instead of it being dismissed as, "Oh, you imagined it," or "You're not remembering right." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think debunkers and skeptics use a lot of wordplay, and that's one of my other problems as well. Just automatically using the word ghost or spirit or demon or...
Well, as far as debunkers, I'd have to know specific examples, Creed, to know like what you mean by like debunkers and skeptics using wordplay. It really just depends on what it is for me. Like, they constantly she's saying there's like we might give broad customer service responses, and that might be true. But it depends on what it is, But
at the same time, you've got to use definitions to clarify what you're trying to say. So
yeah,
you've got to have a glossary, if you like.
Yeah, if it's about REM pods and like APRF, man, at least when they do stuff, they'll call it an experiment, and they'll experiment around. I'm not against experimenting. Yeah, let's do some experiments and see what happens. But there's this big difference between doing experimenting, right, than going in and going, "Oh, look, it's a ghost. The REM pod fucking went off."
Yeah.
I'm so against that, because, man, you break it down like, why did that REM pod go off? There'll be a million reasons why. Besides that, it's not a very well made device itself. There's so many things to all this stuff. You can't just go into a location, turn your stuff on, and go, "Oh yeah, I'm communicating with a ghost." It doesn't work like that. To me, anyway. APRF at least we're going to do this experiment. This is our results. We're going to have it all written down. We can go back and look at our data. That's awesome. I love that kind of investigating.
And the other thing that they can do at some locations is they can keep going back. So they can look at the results they had the previous visit, which they did at the last investigation, I think. They'd already been before, and they looked at the previous, and so there were certain things they were looking at because they couldn't explain their results the first time. They've got a premiere this weekend, by the way, guys.
Oh yes.
I'll push it on. I think it's on Sunday, so I'll push it in the Saturday live so that people know that it's there. But as I said earlier, I am going to include them in the video on investigations I'm doing next week, along with Seg and Adelaide.
That's cool.
So, the thing with the Seg video, because somebody in my comments did have a go at me, when I said that. Oh well, you know, it wasn't a real investigation. Blah blah blah. And it's like it's not about that. It's about the fact that that video of Segs, you know, all right, you know, it's a big location because it's Harriman Hospital, and he's there with Joe and Dawn. He's there with Jason Horsey. I get all that. It's not a norm investigation, if you like, but it was. We need more watchable investigations to get people back to watching bloody investigations. You know.
Yeah.
Because because a lot of people are saying, "No, I don't watch the investigation channels anymore."
Yeah, it's the whole thing of like, oh, you're not doing it the way we're you know, we want you to do it. You know, like you're like, remember when the guy had a go at Seg and Joe and them, oh, you're not taking it seriously because you're in the basement of the Conjuring house making jokes. Well, how do you know that ghosts don't like jokes? There is no handbook to this. You know, also, honestly, when a place, if you know anything about actually like the cases that were supposed to be real, like the Smurl, I think still think the Smurl case was real. Maybe not as maybe it was overblown. There's some cases I think were possibly real, right?
Yeah.
Those people weren't in there going, hello, is anybody here? They were fucking eating and sleeping and fucking doing their daily things. It doesn't matter what the fuck they're doing, to me anyway. If you're in there, like if Seg's in there singing, maybe ghosts like singing. Because obviously, you know what? I know one thing, going around a house or a building and going, is anybody here? Not 3 times. Obviously doesn't fucking work. I mean, it's been done over and over and over again. And it's sickening, actually. It doesn't work. So we got to try some different things. How about go there and act like you're just hanging out? Maybe the ghosts will be more comfortable if they even have a conscience. Who knows? Always saying, well, the ghost this, and they want to come out and talk to you. Well, how do we even know that they can think? We don't even know if they're there. You know what I mean? Like, we have all these like cultural beliefs in ghosts. Like, oh, they're not coming out to play because you're saying this or saying that. Well, that's assuming that they can actually see and hear us or give a fuck.
Yes, 100% on that one. I mean, my 3 biggest experiences. One, I was driving in the car. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. One, I was opening up at work when I worked in the antique store. It was 9:30 in the morning. And the other one, I was sitting sort of early evening, about 7 p.m. watching TV. Not on one of those occasions am I thinking, oh, there's only ghosts around. Do you know what I mean? They were literally just happened without warning. So, I mean, there's also, I think quantum theory sort of goes into this. It's like you say, you don't even know if they can see you. You know?
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, and I still have. I think it's the sarcastic part of me, but I still have a theory that some ghosts are going to think, "Oh, we've got cameras out. I'm not going to stay quiet, guys."
Right. Hey, maybe it goes back to quantum physics. Maybe the actual act of recording again, can mess with things. Just throwing that out there. I mean, if it affects protons, you know, maybe the art of the act of recording is what's throwing people off. You know, but I'll just say real quick. They would say, "Oh, this is a what do they call it? This is a certain. What's the 2 kind of hauntings? There's the one where it's like it repeats itself over and over again. What's it called?
Is it residual?
Residual. This is a residual, and this is, dude. You can't even fucking give me any evidence that the fucking ghost is there, but yet you know if they're a boy or girl, if they're residual or intelligent. But in the meantime, there's no evidence at all. Yeah, because we assume so much.
There's too much assumption for me. I wish I could remember how you phrased it, because it was a while ago you'd said it, but you talked about sort of going into these things almost with sort of levels, 0 expectations, 0, just go in cold and just see what happens. Yeah. Instead of going in with the presumption of something. Because that to me isn't proper investigating, to be honest. I believe in so much paranormal stuff that I saw If I'm being, I hardly believe anything. I have to admit, Ronnie, that I do still believe, but I am more skeptical than I used to be. Watching the debunkers, watching.
And that's okay,
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It hasn't stopped me believing, and I've always wanted explanations. I've always been ready for somebody to say, "Oh, well, it was this," and there is an actual logical explanation for things. But I will admit that I think I'm more and more skeptical about. I suppose it's because of the way that it's done on YouTube with the fakers, etc. I am more skeptical and critical than I used to be, and that's probably good.
Purple Roni.
You could just touch your name into food. Do you believe in portals? Yeah, the missing persons cases. I need to look into those because I think Missing 411's had a bit of a battering, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
So I would like to look at maybe more credible sources for that.
When you say portals, it depends on what kind of portal it is. Like if we're talking, with dead people, or we're talking for aliens. I mean, I don't know. It's I'm not going to say no because I don't know. That's the thing. My good answer to all this is I just don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's no. I still believe there's some really mysterious, crazy things out there, and who knows, man. Who knows?
But that's a good point because even the word portal presumes something. It's where terminology gets in the way, isn't it? I mean, you could have a wormhole in space. You could call that a portal. Let's see. Night Raven, sweetie, thank you for being here, darling. Hey, Dragon Ranger.
Night Raven. I think it's seriously night.
I've actually kept this going, Crow, because I'm going to clip this to a video.
Oh, okay.
So if you're okay for a bit longer.
I don't even see where Raven said bye.
Not my.
Oh, there she is. Sorry, I missed Raven.
I'm a little bit behind.
Oh, that's what it is. You're second the chat.
Second the chat. I'm crying the chat. 1, 2 pieces of equipment I hate with a passion. DL60. No, well. Ugh, yuck. Let's use a broken piece of equipment. And the SLS. Well, the SLS has been. Well, the DL60 has as well, but the SLS is been conclusively debunked.
Can I respond? Cree wrote earlier, I think before this, I think y'all focus on the same dang teams all the time. We get it. Twins are bad. Lee worse. Omar sucks. But there are so many others out there that are not spoken. Now, I would say this. If you go to Beardo's and even mine, we have done very small channels that are no-name channels. So that is a thing. Like, and Beardo does them all the time. I see Beardo doing people I've never even heard of before all the time. So I think that's kind of a myth, but at the same time, we do a lot of teams over and over again. But it's because that's the YouTube part. Because you'll see all the time people saying, Seg, do another Mackie and Amanda. Beardo, please do Lee again. They love watching him do Lee. There's certain teams they want for entertainment value. And if you're running a YouTube channel, you kind of have to keep the lights on. So sometimes you have to do videos that your people want, which is unfortunate. Like, for example, anytime I go do a small channel or no-name channel or a real channel, I get nothing on views. And it hurts because that whole 2 weeks I spent researching and putting like the Allegheny Paranormal, for example, that would hurt because we're always saying, oh, we want real paranormal. We need to support real paranormal. I'm like, hey, you know what? These guys right here, even though they're flawed, I think they're real and they do some cool experimenting, and I want to do a video on them and this and that. Dude, it did crap on views, crap. And that hurt because it's like, well, I thought we were all about real paranormal. But if it's not drama or if it's not fucking twin, nobody wants to watch it. And that one hurt because it's like, well, damn, man, I thought we were about the cause of real paranormal. So it's hard because, if we did all these smaller channels that have no name, if we did them all the time, it would be hard on the views. So you have to kind of mix them up, because I right now have quite a few channels you've probably never heard of. A lot of them are small that I will be doing in the upcoming months that I'm back. So
That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, and people say, "Oh, you're doing it for the click." Yeah, because like you say, you got to keep the lights on. You know, if you're a monetized channel, if you need the clicks and views to actually earn it, to keep the channel going. Um, you know, it's like, you know, we all have to do it in our own way. I mean, I do it. This some of the stuff I love doing. I know it's not going to get many views.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know the stuff that sometimes I will do because just to sort of have that little boost. I think we're not trying to prove anything. I think that's for me, and again, the Believe in Me project did that. I'm not pushing that at the moment. I'm just saying it's just we need to, which is why I think you'll be right on Friday, Cree, because we need to understand there are differences of opinion, there are differences in beliefs, and
absolutely, yeah.
If everybody believed the same thing, it's like I did a video, was it a couple of months ago, when somebody said, "Oh, it's an echo chamber in the debunking community." No, it's not. Because have you seen how many people disagree with, have differing viewpoints? If everybody thought the exact same thing, then that's an echo chamber. But not everybody does, and nothing will move forward. The paranormal will not move forward in research or investigation or in debunking if everybody sticks to the same belief, or you know.
And I do. I try to respect everybody's opinions and what they believe. Now, if you want to give me your opinion that you believe this and that, cool. But I will also give you my opinion that I think this and that, you know. But I definitely value people's opinions and will never, you know, try to convert them. Is that true? Is that true? Now, I'm very passionate about, like, I believe in paranormal. I'm more want to debunk the people that are trying to say that this is, like, these guys are coming out saying, "Oh, hey, we finally discovered real paranormal, blah blah blah." Okay, let's see it. You know, that's a very bold claim. So let's see what you got. You know, if you're going to claim it as real, but I don't know where I was going with this. Sorry.
Creators want to watch someone taking something that's deep in my belief system and make fun of it and laugh. I don't think you guys understand how it is. I think you're underestimating how people feel about that. The reason the Believe in Me project started is because Stormy After Dark. There is still the video on my channel where I introduced the project, and I'm introducing the project, and I've introduced it already in the first issue of the magazine as well. It's because she was so frustrated with even people on paranormal channels sort of not listening to her and her experiences and dismissing her. I think you'll find, Cree, that a lot more people feel like that than you realise. And the reason you're not realising it, ironically, is because often people don't want to say. When I asked for stories for the Believe in Me project, I said to people, you don't have to put your real name on it. You know, if you want me to use a pseudonym, or if you want me just to put anonymous, I'm fine with doing that. Because even in a paranormal community, not everybody wants to say they've had an experience, what their beliefs are. So, and if you're in my chat on, you know, we don't always talk about the paranormal in here, but even I'm still surprised sometimes in my chat how far people will go in saying what their beliefs are, etc. Whereas if I go into, say, another channel, not going to say which ones, but you know, there'll be certain channels that you're going to go into and you're going to think, oh, I can't say that, you know, I'm going to get laughed at. And that's going to happen, but there are little pockets where you're not going to get felt like that.
And see, I think a lot of this too is not from the debunkers, but from the actual people in the community.
Yeah.
I've seen in Facebook groups. It's not, I mean, how many times has Beardo and me and Seg said, and other, I mean, everything, every debunker said, whatever, if you had a personal experience, you saw a ghost, you saw your dead grandma, I would never take that from you. And we've said that over and over again, but you'll see is in paranormal groups on Facebook and here and there that there's other people making fun of it. Oh, you just saw dust or whatever the fuck it is. But, you know, I will always say if you had an experience, man, you probably did. And that's awesome. But I'm not going to try to debunk personal experiences.
It's actually what Stormy said. It was mainly people in chat. And
yeah, I know. I actually know. Yeah. it was that too. But it also, when you say people are making fun of what you believe in, yeah, I would. When it comes to like, it depends on what it is. If you love, you know, REM pods and apps, and yeah, you're probably not going to like a lot of the videos and debunking, because a lot of it is the devices and the people claiming the paranormal. So it really just depends. Yeah, I want to laugh at people that sit there and look in the mirror and say there's a portal, like in the new ghost theory video I'm doing. Of course, they look in the mirror and they go, "Oh my god, my face looks weird." They're lying. No, it's a mirror. Stop hamming it up. If that was Beardo and Miss Seg that look in the mirror, they'd go, "Oh, this is stupid." But when it's these fake ghost hunters, of course, everything's a damn portal or mirror scrying. But there's certain things I will always think are silly, like talking to apps as ghosts.
Yeah. Hey, Slick.
Silk.
Roger says the main thing.
Sorry.
That's hello from Crow for hello. The main thing outsiders will have against the real paranormal teams is that nothing happens. More than often, nothing will happen. It's the way it is, and even teams accept that. Yeah, they do. And the reason I wanted to highlight Seg's video and one or two other channels as well is that you don't have to have things happen all the time for it to be a good video to watch. And even if that's just your starting point, back into watching real investigation teams.
I'm going to applaud that comment. Sorry.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know. This is what's happened. They don't want you to know the big dirty secret that these places are dead.
Yeah.
And then when our friends go there and debunkers go there and nothing happens, they switch it around and go, "Oh, no. It's you. You're skeptical. That's why you're not getting evidence." That's why they twisted it around. Because for the longest time, they got away with saying, "Oh, this place is crazy on and it's crazy active." Well, guess what? When our friends started going, when debunkers started going, guess what? We found out nothing is happening. It's nothing. Not even a rat fart in that fucking place. And see, now they go, "Oh, yeah, but you're skeptical." They forget, though, that Beardo's a believer. Seg's not.
Yeah.
Ghost is a believer. I think Mr. Gray's a believer. I can't remember. But I'm just saying
he's open to it, yeah.
Exactly.
I've covered that so many times in vlogs. Oh, the debunkers are skeptics. No, the debunkers aren't all skeptics. Well,
we're skeptics, but they we still.
No, but I mean, they don't
believe.
believe. Yeah. I mean, skeptic as in not believing.
Right.
I think the most skeptical is Seg, but I mean, Beardo definitely believes because he's had his own experiences. Yeah. It's a blanket term that people use. In terms of things like that, Cree, one of the problems, and I worry about tackling it sometimes. I've got to tackle it with Chariots of the Gods when I do Chariots of the Gods. Is they shouldn't be mocking any belief system. My problem is there's almost a tendency that it's okay to knock some belief systems but not others.
I blame the fakers for this one, because the fakers that took these things like skinwalkers and they made a mockery of it. And now when you hear skinwalkers, a lot of this time it's just joking, because we get so sick of hearing, "Oh, it's Skinwalker Ranch," and it's elementals, or that whole thing. They have ruined this because they've used these words to their advantage for their fake videos. So that's why it's probably coming. That's why when you see us roll our eyes at it, it's not really at your belief. It's more at the actual fakers for claiming this all the time.
Yeah. I also do understand not wanting to be made fun of. I have quit channels that were offensive in that way. Good.
Oh, remember that again? Also, not wanting to be made fun of and have a quit channel. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I've done that myself. I've pissed off people, by going too far, with some of the stuff with the equipment, I don't like, I didn't mean to sound. I probably went too far with it by acting like, you're dumb if you use this equipment. That's too far, But it's just out of aggravation because, I watch it every day, so it's just the equipment drives you insane. So sometimes it kind of boils over in the videos.
Yeah, I agree. The Warren house is just yuck. Julianne, hello. I fought hard. Pam says I fought hard to to find what I believed in, then I discovered the most important thing was to believe in me.
There you go.
Yeah, 100%. And nobody should knock that. I believe that. I don't like scam. See, that to me, I'm going to say who it was. It was Mythos. It was Mythos who was in a live about 2 or 3 weeks ago and said he wasn't going to do debunking anymore. He didn't see the point. And I love Mythos, by the way. I love his channel. But
yes,
he said because everybody knows it's fake. And my argument is, well, no, people don't know it's fake. And I'm following how it's spreading out into the commercial world now. It's going beyond YouTube now. You know, we've got escape rooms, we've got board games, we've got streaming services, we've got more and more questionable channels buying up properties. This is going out into the real world now, guys. It's not just on YouTube. And you don't stop saying something's wrong with the idea that everybody in this community knows what the debunkers do. But we need more. That word needs to spread because I'm just saying what I've said in vlogs, but that word needs to spread so the paranormal can be taken seriously for research. Otherwise, it's never going to be. You can't stop. Fake is fake. I've done a video on that as well, promoting myself today. But fake is fake. You know, I had somebody in my chat a week or two ago that said, "Oh, well, does it matter? They're just trying to make money." Yes, it matters. And if you are basically lying to people to make money, yes, it matters. And then you've got the added thing that people like Cree and other people in the chat and myself that have had experiences or have beliefs, and they're quashing those as well. I'd never thought of that, Crow, about the channels doing the skinwalkers. Yeah, they've kind of really diminished the meaning of those things to people who, you know, it's part of their belief system. And it's just going to get worse.
I was going to say somebody said that's crazy. Somebody said that. Why does that matter? Yeah, it matters a lot actually, and that's what's happening is that people are shipping on this bandwagon. They need to go buy their equipment, go to the place, and make money. And you know, I look at things like this. My videos sometimes I'll go overboard because you need a yin and a yang. You need a fucking negative. You need somebody to kind of wake you up and make you think about things. And sometimes, unfortunately, you have to hurt some feelings or be really brutal about something to show like, hey, this is stupid, this is dumb, you know. And that's there you go. I mean, I want to make a point. That's not like making fun of stuff and do commercials and things like that because I wanted to drive home how dumb this stuff is. And if you don't like it, that's awesome. If you don't like it, that's great. That's cool. But this is how I feel, though. A lot of this is how I feel. But Cree said something really important real quick. She said that no offense, Crow, but you guys don't typically watch Paranormal outside the video that you guys do. I go to lives, I listen and watch. I definitely disagree with that, Cree. I watch a lot of different stuff and have for years. So I'm not just watching the fake stuff. I'm all over the board. I promise you.
Yeah, me too. And you'll see more of me bringing that in on my channel. They have large followings. It's hard to convince any of them that they're being lied to. This is my argument with that, and I'm tackling this as well in the next few weeks, because this is where I go into my specialism, if you like, with popular culture and stuff, is a lot of them won't care. You're talking about large audiences that don't really care about the paranormal. They just want the jump scares. They just want to look at Sam and Colby or the twins. It's a different audience. That's, you know, you're never going to bring down Sam and Colby. The only people who can bring down Sam and Colby would be themselves if they did something really stupid, you know, to get themselves cancelled. But the debunkers can't bring down Sam and Colby. And do you know, there was I've been doing some research on Houdini and him going to spirit sessions in the Victorian period, and he said so many people even then were going to these seances not because they believed in it, but they wanted the thrill, they wanted the show.
Yeah.
It was happening then, and it's happening now. This isn't about the mass audience. It's about focusing some people who do believe or who want to believe and realize they're being scammed that way. You can't stop this train. I'm sorry, but for me, with it being going outside of YouTube so much now, you can't stop it. I think The debunkers are needed even more than ever now, as that core group of people that are going to stand up and say, this is fake, this is wrong. It's not going to change the whole thing. People aren't going to stop faking. But that voice needs to be as strong as ever. In my opinion, the voice needs to be as strong as ever.
We need more debunkers.
We do.
Because there's a lot of new teams. I'm seeing a lot of new teams coming online with the same old SS method app crap, and camera comes on, magic happens, they get paid. It's just, and you'll never beat that system, dude. You'll never, but
I think it was a month or two ago, but you did a live, and I can't remember what the channel was called, but it was a new channel, and I think they were genuinely trying to do an investigation. You remember they just stood outside that sort of stone hut in the middle of nowhere for whatever it was, and you're sort of looking at them and think they probably think they're doing it the right way because they've watched Simon Colby and these people, so they're sort of thinking, oh yes, okay, we need a spirit box, we need a EMF reader, and it's like they're learning the wrong way by these channels, and a lot of these new channels I don't think realize they're doing it the wrong way.
Right. Yeah, that's it. They're spreading. I didn't realize until I started watching Zach Bagans how much he influenced the YouTubers. Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the flat earthers, man. I'm sorry, morons. That's one group of people I won't respect. I've listened to their argument. I've done deep dives into flat earth. Like, let me take time and put an energy into this and see if there's anything that I can go, okay, that is pretty weird. Nope. It's those people I do not have any respect for at all. It's junk science, and it's absolutely crap.
It's conspiracy theory on this huge level, on a global level, literally. And that's where these things, like you say, if they're getting out into the outside world beyond YouTube, beyond the little corners of the internet where it's discussed, then it's a problem. And I'm an ex-academic, and I know that the best way to do this is to get some funding back into the paranormal for it to be researched properly. But I'm sure Kenny was sitting here, he was saying it's almost impossible because most universities don't even teach parapsychology anymore. Because the university is not going to offer a topic that it's going to get ridiculed for, because the real money in any university, it comes from research. Look at Ghostbusters. Even back then with Ghostbusters, they're kicked out because they're making a mockery of their research department.
And the problem is with that too, even if there's funding, it's going to be the same old hacks in the paranormal running the show.
Yeah.
It's going to be the ones that people know, and if we're going to get anywhere in the paranormal, we have to throw out all the these beliefs and the belief systems and all that. We got to start over, man. I'm sorry. Going around talking about all these things like intelligent hauntings versus what did you say? I'm sorry, I got the word again. Residual, and all this stuff, man. It needs to be completely stripped down and be more scientific about it if we're ever going to find out if dead people are trying to communicate. I'm sorry, but the current system is broken. It's all belief. It's garbage. It's crap. We need to do something different. And I think quantum physics will be the way to go in the future if you ever want to try to figure out, if there's something going on paranormal wise. But currently, man, you can't just give funding out, give $1 million and give it to somebody that believes in Estes method and believes in the same old bullshit. None of that shit works. And if you're in 2025 and you still think people are coming through the radio, there's a problem.
Yeah.
You get rid of the goddamn radios. Sorry. and get rid of the crap equipment, and let's think outside the box and do some actual scientific thinking about this process. I'm sorry. It's
that's what I mean. We're stuck in a rut. So that's why we were so happy finding APRF, at least doing something different.
True. And they've done Estes methods, but they put it down as purely experimental. And even when they do it, though, they do it in a cool style. They'll do different experiments with it, which again, I'm not against that.
I think many debunkers are burning out. They're tired of repeating themselves, but repetition is how people actually hear you. Absolutely.
Yeah, burnt to a crisp. And
Um,
I haven't even, dude, I have not been as active as Beard on Seg and Mythos and Mr. Gray. You know, I'm sure that, I mean, I have not been even near as active as those guys have. But yeah, I'm burnt just from being in the actual realm of the paranormal. Because if I'm not on here talking, I'm talking with having a fucking 2-hour discussion with Seg about paranormal or Joe and techniques and stuff. So it's not all like fuck spirit boxes. It's a lot of talking about the paranormal that goes on outside of the videos because we are interested in it as a whole.
It's also explanations, guys, because I mean, often I'll go to Pro and that because I don't understand the equipment. I'm not talking about investigating paranormal now. I don't understand how half of it works. So it's not unusual for me to go to Crow and say, well, how does that work? Why does that matter? Why is that being picked up? But because I don't know. We need sources to be able to go to. Yeah, with lives can get repetitive. I mean, I'm as guilty as anybody, and Crow's the same. Sometimes we go by what the chat want. But I love it when we can. I mean, that's why I haven't stopped the live, because I'll clip this down into a video with me and Crow talking about it.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that because I'm just burnt out sometimes. So it's nice to get on there and just have some fun.
Yeah,
sometimes we'll watch some footage. But you're right, we probably need to do more paranormal stuff for sure.
I mean, I love my life generally, so I'm happy to let the chat lead me. But once I've got a better system, I will have stuff that we'll watch and things. It's just at the moment I can't do it. But I know I'm always pleasantly surprised when we are talking about the paranormal, how open my chat is about different topics, Yeah,
you're right, though. I do need to bring up more paranormal stuff up more often, so I think what's weird, I think a few years ago, I think my live stream, people were just so used to me doing a certain thing. I felt like in my mind that we had to do the whole laughy thing or the usual stuff. I didn't know if people were. I think when I tried a few different things, people were tuning out. So. But yeah, we definitely do that again, or at least tried anyway.
Yeah, often it depends sort of which. I know if Cree's in chat, she'll get it going. So sometimes if I see Cree, I'm like, oh, Cree's in. I'm gonna. Yeah, it is nice every once in a while to sort of have a live where this is what's actually being discussed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got any mods in chat because one of the mods put my Discord link in, please. I'll break YouTube. I'll break StreamYard if I go into Discord now. Hang on. Crow in the chat. Oh, Sarah, could you do it? Hang on. Okay. Let's see if this works. Discord. Where is it? Shows how often I go in. It's not even in my bookmarks.
Hey, Sandra.
I don't know what it is about Discord, Crow, but it really slows everything down when you open it up.
When you what?
It's just the size of it. Discord. I never have Discord open when I'm live because it's just seems to slow everything down.
Raven's lurking turkey. She came in clutch on the link.
Raven's awake. Oh, she done the link now. After a minute. Right. Crow the chat a little bit just to see if it's gone in. Oh, hang on. I need to do it on YouTube, don't I? Duh. Forgive me, guys. I'm new here.
I'll have to go in about 10 minutes, Sarah.
It's all right. I'm going to end it in a minute, Crow.
Because I got Big Brother. I'm a Big Brother fanatic, and I got.
Oh no, it's that time of the week, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's my Discord link, guys. I think Raven's already done it. Thank you, Raven. But I appreciate you staying on because it'd be nice to whittle this down into a video.
I'll say too. Whatever I say, just take it with a grain of salt too. I'm a fucking idiot, so I mean, these are just my opinions. I'm no fucking authority, you know. So all this stuff I'm saying is just what I think about things, but I could be totally fucking wrong. And probably
point, and you're not an idiot. Stop it. But that's the point, though, isn't it? It's people need to understand anything to do with the paranormal. Yeah, there's research that's been done, but it's still a lot of opinion. But the beauty, I think, of being a debunker is the debunkers learn to sort of back some of those opinions up, because that's what you have to do to be a debunker.
I've been jaded, dude. I can admit that, because, like, you know, all these claims, all this crap, and then you realize that 99, you know, well, maybe 100% of it's all BS. So it's really hard to go, like, I mean, I used to love, you know, I grew up looking at stuff in the pyramids and the fucking Easter Island head things and all these mysterious things around the world. And I grew up on unsolved mysteries and all these ghost stories and stuff. And yeah, you definitely get jaded, you know, because you look back on these old cases that you thought were real and you're like, oh shit, man, another one that wasn't real, or, you know, or you find out they were scamming or whatever it is. But it's hard to keep the, you know, you definitely are more skeptical as you go. I try not to let the fake, I always say this too, don't let the fakers ruin your shit though. No. I've seen people get to the debunking community 6 months later, you know, I don't believe this crap anymore. I'm like, no. Just because they're faking it doesn't mean it's not real. It just doesn't happen as much as they say it does. You know, every fucking week, everywhere they go. Shadow Cat.
This is also, I mean, it was Crow that introduced me to Chariots of the Gods. And this is also why I want to go further back, you know, because there's less. I mean, I'm going to be looking at news and movies and TV and the way they present it, because that's what I do best, to be honest, from my background. But that's why I want to go further back and sort of look at a lot of research from before all that got in the way. Because it does get in the way. I mean, look at the Conjuring movies, how they've sort of twisted everything, and I can come up with loads of examples. There's an old Western called, I'll finish off saying this, there's an old Western called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And there's a quote at the end of that where Jimmy Stewart wants to go and confess how things really happened, and the newspaper editor won't print it. And he asks him why, and he says, "This is the West, sir. When legend becomes fact, we print the legend," and that's what the paranormal is doing. That's what the Conjuring movies are doing. That's what a lot of people are doing. It's like the exciting versions of the stories, the constantly promoted versions of the stories are far more palatable for people than the truth. That's the problem. Shadow Mice, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. You are a treasure.
Oh, awesome, Shadow Mice.
Thank you for sticking with us, guys. I've kept going because I'm going to be clipping this down to a video.
That's cool.
And thank you, Crow, for sort of staying on.
No, you're welcome.
I'll go and annoy Seg now and do a little bit of mod duty.
By the way, I've had Seg turned down in the other window the whole time. He's singing Batman to, like, I mean, just all these high... the Bee Gees, it's, oh my God, he's been singing his ass off over there. So,
right, guys, it's just thank me for saving you from Seg. Seg singing.
Oh man.
And don't forget, though, from the man himself and everything we've been talking about today. Don't stop believing. There you go. Thanks, sweetie. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you, guys. We've had a great live tonight. I wasn't expecting everything. Yeah.
You guys in the chat were awesome. It was nice having a cool conversation like this. And I'm looking forward to seeing Cree on Kenny's live. And
Cree's on Kenny's live. UK time, it's 1 p.m. on Saturday morning. So US time, I think that's 8 p.m. East Coast. If you don't see it, B Team rewatch, so go and support Cree. Help her give Kenny hell. Okay. All right, guys.
Awkward ending.
Ending. Toodles.
Bye, guys.
You are amazing, awesome, you really are a star. Here's some cookie and some pizza for the legend that you are. You cannot have some coffee, Sarah will not share, but she wants you to know she is blessed that you are there. Walla-da-da, 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 oh, wow.